Those of you who are joining, good morning. A very warm welcome to this virtual room full of biostatistics enthusiasts. I'm Brahmar Mukherjee. I'm a professor of biostatistics at Yale University. And as you are trickling in, please settle in into the Zoom room and be prepared for an hour of interesting conversations.
All right, I think we can start. Welcome, everyone. As Dr. Mukherjee just mentioned, welcome to the informational session. Um, informational session on the Summer Institute in Biostatistics programs in the tri-state area. There will be a Q&A session at the end. If you would like to submit a question for the speakers, please do so in the Q&A panel. And we'll try to address all your questions as soon as we can. Else, we will reach out to you separately. This session is being recorded. Thank you. Dr. Mukherjee.
Yeah, hi everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you for joining this informational session on Summer Institute in Biostatistics and Data Science. This is a NIH NHLBI supported program. There are 10 institutes across the United States, and the three of us in the East Coast have gathered together this morning to welcome you, to answer your questions, and also tell you a little bit about what we are planning this summer. So the run of the show is going to go like that. We are going to introduce the programs, and then each of the three programs at Yale, Boston University, and Columbia University are going to talk about their program for about 10 minutes. We have also invited some former and past SIBS alumni, some recent, some from the back, years back actually, and how they have made the most of their time at these summer programs, and how that has influenced their future career outcomes and choices. So that's the plan, and we want to spend most of the time in terms of Q&A. And if you have a question, please put it in the chat. We may not get to answer it when we are presenting, but we'll definitely answer it as at the end of the three presentation sessions and as we answer the questions and go into Q&A. And if you'd like to unmute yourself, you can request that as well. But just because we have a lot of students registered for this and people are joining from different parts of the world, the automatic setting is that you are muted. Thank you, everyone. So I'm going to talk about the Big Data Summer Immersion at Yale, or as we lovingly are calling it, BDSY. I do want to talk about summer programs in general and the importance. What I have seen, I have been running these summer programs for the last 10 years, since 2015, and the impact that I have seen on student career trajectory, and also how faculty enrich themselves and stay up to date about what undergraduate students are looking for in terms of their education in biostatistics and data science. So the Yale team, the Yale SIBS is new in its first infant year. And as you know that I was at University of Michigan for 18 years. And out of those 10 years, one of my best experiences were actually to run this summer program. So the Yale team is consisting of several stellar faculty. I'm directing the program, and then Dr. Fan Lee and Dr. Terika McCall, both are professors in biostatistics department, are joining as co-PIs, as well as Professor Heping Zhang, Professor Lee Kennedy Schaffer, as well as Rohan Khera from the cardiovascular department, medicine department, is joining our team. So this is a fusion of data scientists and public health and medicine scholars who are going to talk about the intersection of data science and medicine and public health. So the original grant, as I mentioned, the original SIBS was awarded to University of Michigan But this program has been going on in Michigan for 10 years, and we're building on that success and that experience, but we're trying to do something new as well. The way the history of this program started is that our program is slightly different, has always been slightly different from the other SIBs in terms of its focus on big data. And big data in terms of, I'm going to define it, but really messy, complex data where the traditional skill sets and the textbook regression models do not quite work. So due to COVID, we had to cancel 1 year. We have administered 9 offerings of the program at Michigan, and 357 students have been trained in this program. We are one of the largest SIBS programs, and also through generous support of the donors, we also welcome international students from all over the world. And that's going to continue with the Yale program as well. And again, I want to thank all the sponsors who make this possible. The program traditionally has been 52% women trainees and 17% historically underrepresented groups in STEM fields. The good thing is that 60% of our students have roughly have gone into graduate school, and there are some still continuing and making that decision. So they basically drank the Kool-Aid. It has been a very diverse program with students from SIBS. Typically is a very diverse program where you have students from different types of institutions, R1 universities, small liberal arts colleges, universities where research is a focus, and universities where teaching is a focus. So we have had students from all over the world. Traditionally, we have had students from India, Mexico, and UK joining our wonderful cohort of students in the United States as well. So, and then SIBS alumni have gone everywhere. So you will hear from some of our alumni, but the placement from SIBS have been amazing. I can tell you as a professor that when I go to statistics or biostatistics conferences these days, after having done this for 10 years, there will always be someone who will say, I am 2016's BDSI, I am 2018 BDSI, and I cannot tell you how gratifying that feels as an educator to see the success of our alumni. So in terms of the program, we typically focus on complex, heterogeneous, big, messy data related to health and patient care. And our definition of big data in the projects is that we have large, complex data sets. Traditionally, they come from either genetics or genomics, imaging, or electronic health records. Sometimes we have done projects on, particularly during the pandemic years, on infectious diseases and other kinds of statistical models, not just regression models. And so our idea and the ethos is that we take large, complex data sets, unanalyzed before, not previously analyzed, and teach students that how can you use cutting-edge statistical and computational methods to tell a story, and with a scientific question in goal. And sometimes those scientific questions are posed by the students after we give them the data sets, and sometimes the scientific questions are posed by project mentors. So it's a 6 weeks immersive program. And this year at Yale, it's going to be from June 16 to July 27. Approximately 30 undergraduates will be admitted from across the country and the world. Among them, 20 to 25 are going to be from the United States. I have to say that we have seen an unprecedented number of applications this year, approximately 600 applications. So you can imagine that how difficult it's going to be for us to choose and pick 30 of them, because all of you are exceptional. And so there may be a question, how are we making that selection and how do you stand out? So it's rolling admission. So I'd recommend that you complete your admission as soon as possible. Your chances are higher to get in. And our goal is to give a first-hand experience, sort of a microcosm of a graduate school, how that may feel like. Before you commit to the graduate school experience, you can spend 6 weeks to see how graduate school may look like for you. And this program will be, typically it has been a university-wide data science program, and it will have participation from faculty in biostatistics, statistics, data science, epidemiology, biomedical data science, computer science, and various additional departments in public health and medicine. So as I said, that in order to apply to the program, you have to complete the online application form, which requires a personal statement, a CV, and unofficial transcript, a list of relevant coursework in mathematics, statistics, computer science, and if you have any biology background, a reference letter from a professor or researcher who can speak to your, at least one, to your academic abilities and research potential. So we focus more on the research potential and the creativity rather than course grades as we are looking at the applications. The students are fully supported. There are two choices for packages in combination of like stipend, meals, and travel. As I said, that there are slots available for international students residing in the United States, and international students residing outside the United States as well. The accommodation will be in Yale's Benjamin Franklin College. This is one of the newest Yale colleges, and I am a fellow of the college, and it is wonderful surroundings and very easy access to lots of very groovy destinations on campus. So as you can see, as I mentioned, that we have been doing this for a number of years at Michigan, and the same structure of the program is going to be followed at Yale. What you can expect is that in the morning, you're going to be together, all 30 students, and they're going to be didactic lectures, which are going to give you snapshots of what a data science technologies look like. And that may come from statistics, that may come from biostatistics, that may come from computer science. But the first 2 weeks are sort of boot camp, teaching people statistics, teaching people core linear algebra, probability, calculus, and bringing people up to speed in terms of their coding. Python and R bootcamp workshops are a big part of the first 2 weeks because people come with different kind of programming preparations. And then we are going to proceed to more advanced topics, as well as how practitioners from medicine or public health use these tools. So you'll see that fusion. And then you go into deep dive into afternoon sessions where you are working on a mentored research project. There is a faculty mentor, and there is also 1 or 2 graduate students who are mentoring and working with you throughout the 6 weeks to posit the research question, come up with the analysis plan, and finally towards your presentation. And as I mentioned, that the research topics have typically evolved around machine learning, data mining, imaging data, electronic health records, genetics and genomics, infectious disease. This year, we are going to have one causal inference project as well. So the structure of the program, as I said, broad. You're together in the morning, learning about different disciplines. In the afternoon, it's deep, that you deep dive into your domain area and your project. So at the end, the conclusion, the last 2 days are very moving in terms of you speak your science. We have a formal research symposium. We invite an outstanding stellar figure in biostatistics or statistic to speak to the student. There are faculty talks at the symposium in the morning, and in the afternoon, the students present their posters as well as oral presentation. That's really a beautiful day of celebrating the work that you do for 6 weeks. And we end with a very nice dinner. It's not just work. I want to ensure you that this is more than statistics. We want to build a sense of community, and peer mentoring is a huge part of it. You get to interact with the graduate students at Yale. You get to interact with each other and people who are thinking similarly about careers. We also have a lot of professional development events in terms of writing skills, communication skills, how to write your CV, how to write a convincing statement of purpose for graduate school application, as well as we have journey lectures showcasing the career of different people at different stages of their journey into the world of statistics. So as I said, that it takes a village. These programs will across the United States. The training programs would not have been possible without the generous support of the National Institute of Health. But also the Yale community has come together to support many additional slots, and particularly slots for students who are coming from all over the world. So with that, I think I'm going to hand it over to three of our brilliant BDSI former students. And Sophia Anjali Roy Barman is currently a junior in public health in UC Berkeley. She attended the program last year in 2024. Dylan Clark Busher, who is at Harvard University doing a PhD in biostatistics. And Dylan, if I'm not mistaken, USCIBS 2021, you can correct me. And then Madhav Sankaranarayan. Madhav joined from India. He is a snapshot of an international student coming to BDSI. You're going to hear his experience. And he's also doing a PhD in biostatistics at Harvard University. And Madhav was CIBS 2019. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Sophia, Dylan, and Madhav in that order.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sophia, and as Bramar said, I'm a junior at UC Berkeley studying public health. I'd always been interested in public health, human health specifically, and had come into college pre-med with only a little bit of data background. And I applied to the CIBS program to kind of more explore that niche. I was incredibly excited with what I found. Some highlights at the largest scale, CIBS helped me to shape my own career trajectory. So just like the opportunity of being able to learn about cutting edge research that's going on at the intersection of big data and human health. And then also hear professors' journeys in the journey lectures was incredibly formative and has driven me now to kind of reconsider my own career trajectory and think more about opportunities in research, whether that be through PhD or MD PhD. I think also something that's really unique about this program is the ability to really drive your own research project. So in other research experiences, maybe you have tasks or that you're like one part of a bigger project, but it's broken down kind of um, in a way, yeah, that's like kind of more task-based. But here we really had the opportunity to create our own research question, design our process on our own. And so in a way that really emulates what grad school looks like there, with of course, a lot of support from mentors. And then also not to be neglected is the wonderful community as well. You're meeting people from all around the world, from various backgrounds. I came in from a background more of biology. I had collaborators who came in from a background more from biostats or data science. And so to all be able to come together, to learn from one another, and also just to have fun together and be able to socialize. You're all living together and hanging out and spending a lot of time together over the summer. So that was really wonderful. I could not recommend this program enough. Happy also to talk more with you all if you have any questions about my experience or just kind of want to talk out your application or anything like that. I'll pass it over to Dylan now.
Okay, thanks, Sophia. Hi everyone, I'm Dylan Clark-Boucher. Like Bramar said, I was actually at BDSI in 2019, the same year as Madhav, so the years were a little off there, but that's okay. I did my undergrad at George Washington University, where I was a double major in math and statistics. And when I went to BDSI, I sort of had a vague interest in statistics and biology and epidemiology, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with that or what one could do with that. I was kind of familiar with biostatistics as a discipline in general, but I didn't really have much hands-on experience with it. And I think that one of the reasons these programs are valuable, BDSI specifically, is that they give you a sense of what you can do in data and in related fields in a way that you wouldn't necessarily understand otherwise. Because at least when I was doing this, there were so many other things that you could do. Like a lot of people were at that time going into data science or going into pure statistics or epidemiology, or there were people who, as a statistician or as someone who is interested in statistics, people will always tell you, oh, you should be an actuary. Like there's just so many things that you can do in math and statistics that have some kind of like public health flavor to them that I didn't really know uh, what I wanted to do personally. And I think that BDSI really narrowed my career goals in a way that was very important. And so after BDSI, I ended up returning to Michigan for a master's degree, where I stayed 2 years doing research for Ramar. And then after that, I decided that 2 years of grad school was not enough for me, and I wanted to do more. So I ended up going to the PhD program at Harvard, and now I'm in my third year. But I think that BDSI was a tremendous experience for me just because it gave me the opportunity to shape my goals and also to grow as like a young programmer and statistician. Like there was so much that I learned there in terms of the practical aspects of working with data, but then also the conceptual aspects of working on complex biological problems. So for me, it was a tremendous experience. And I'll echo what Sophia said and say that I would recommend that anyone who's interested in these fields should really consider going to a program like this.
And I think Madhav just joined. Can we go to Madhav? Or I just
Hello.
saw that he just joined, so. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe Sophia, there is a question for you, and which basically asks that how difficult was it to integrate into BDSI with a more biological sciences focused background?
So thank you for your question. I think it was really, like, as I said, it was really formative for me. I hadn't had a lot of experience yet in statistics or data science. I knew a little bit of kind of basic coding. But yeah, it was super formative for me in shaping what I was interested in, what I wanted to go into, and just being able to be exposed to the opportunities within data. In terms of difficulty, I think, yeah, I was a little bit worried going in. Just, yeah, given my lack of background, especially in statistics. But as Bramar had said, they have like these kind of boot camp sessions, especially in the first couple of weeks, where, yeah, you really are able to get into, okay, what are kind of the basics of R coding or a Python coding, and super, super helpful. Your cohort size, I think, is around 30 or so people. And so you really are able to get kind of that one-on-one help as well. And then, like I said, like it's really beautiful to be able to come together with other people from different backgrounds too. And maybe like you give some more of the biological expertise and they give more of the statistics expertise, but to be able to come together and integrate, much like in the real world too, across disciplines. So I would highly recommend, yeah, as a biological sciences major.
Any other questions? Madhav, are you online? Okay, all right.
No,
So
apologies for the delay.
no, better late than never. I just wanted to give you the platform because also you came as an international student, so that was a different perspective. And if you want to share, like how was the BDSI experience coming from ISI and how that influenced the rest of your journey?
Yeah, definitely. So I came from a mainly theoretical background. A lot of the training that I got, so I'd gone to the Indian Statistical Institute prior to going to BDSI, and predominantly we did not work on data. It was most of our training was in the mathematics and the probability that goes with statistics. And going to BDSI was quite eye-opening in that sense because the key goal is to be able to apply the skills that you're able to learn to practical data sets. And I was part of the genomics group in BDSI, and we were working on things from population genetics to how to set up GWASs, very practical things that come up in a lot of biostatistics. And that's sort of snowballed into what I thought I would do as a career. So I'm still doing genetics. Um, I think the exposure that I got there was very helpful in me determining what I wanted to do with the skills that I was able to acquire in my bachelor's and master's. So in that sense, I think as an international student, I think the key was that there wasn't any equivalent program in India at the time. So it was definitely a good exposure. And yeah, I think that's definitely sort of set me up to the path that I'm at today.
Thank you so much, Madhav. The students are going to stay and help us answer some of the questions, but I think in the interest of time, we should move on to our Columbia colleagues. Welcome, Kristen.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining our information session. So I'm going to be talking about the Summer Training Institute in Biostatistics and Data Science at Columbia. We call it SIBDS. I'm Christine Morrow. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Biostatistics. I'm also the co-director of the SIBDS program. My co-director is Dr. Bahani, the chair of the Biostats department. He's unfortunately not able to join us today. And then we're joined by two of our administrative colleagues, the director and assistant director of academic programs. So Lucia is with me here today to help answer questions. So they help us manage and run this program day to day and all year long. Actually, we're constantly thinking about SIBs and working on parts of that. I also like to share that I'm actually a graduate of a SIBS program. So I actually went to the Boston University SIBS program way back when in 2007. And like many of the students that have joined the call today, it was a really formative experience for me. I was a math major at a liberal arts college with like little to no opportunity to do research. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my math degree. I had taken some of the actuary exams. These stories that I heard earlier sort of reminded me of my path. And I was looking for REUs and research experiences between my junior and senior year. And I saw the flyer for BU and I was like, huh, that sounds kind of interesting. You know, free summer in Boston. I really liked medicine, but I didn't want to be a doctor. And those 6 weeks changed the course of my life. And I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today if it wasn't for a SIBS program. And it was truly a full circle moment for us when this program was awarded 3 years ago. It's one of my proudest accomplishments. So I'll start by telling you a little bit about our program. So our program is actually 7 weeks long. The first week is done asynchronously. So we have some pre-recorded content, some getting to speed with R and R Studio. So getting your software up to date. So that way, when you arrive on campus, you're sort of ready to go and everyone's sort of in the same place. What are some of the things you'll experience as part of our program? So there is a coursework component. You'll be in the classroom learning about biostatistics and data science, thinking about how to design and use analytic methods using statistical software. So we focus on R in our program right now. And then the big part of our program that we really like is this mentored data analysis project. So I'll talk more about the project later. In addition to the coursework and the project, we have a lot of professional development opportunities. So we have research seminars every week to expose you to sort of the cutting edge research that people are doing in the field. We also do training in conducting responsible research. We have panels on applying to graduate school and other professional development opportunities. And then we really try to have our students interact with many of the other pipeline programs that are happening at the Mailman School of Public Health over the summer. So we actually have had 3 cohorts. We're going into year 4 of SIBDS. So I have 2 of the cohorts present pictured here. I left off the first cohort because we were all in mass and it was a very strange time, but we had a very special cohort that first year nonetheless. So you can see our cohort size is actually quite small. We have about 14 students on average per year. So it's a smaller program. And some of the things that come with the program are, everyone gets 3 college credits. Everyone gets college credit for an Intro to Biostatistics course. I'll talk more about the course in a second. We cover all of the fees and tuition associated with that, so there's no financial burden to students. We also provide a single room housing and food allowance at a place called iHouse, which is a really interesting place. It's not on Columbia's campus. It's a New York City institution. People from all over the world, students from all over the world live there while they're studying in New York. So students get to interact in a really rich environment. We cover transportation costs. We provide social activities. We really want to encourage, again, that bonding. And we also have a stipend. So these are just some of the fun activities we've done in the past few years. We've done picnics. We always try to do a Broadway show every year. It is New York. We usually do a Mets game. Yankee games, I think, are just a tiny bit too expensive for us, but Met games nonetheless are lots of fun. And we really try to encourage this bonding. And I always share that, I was only at BU for SIBS for 6 weeks as an undergraduate, but I'm still in touch with many of my SIBS peers from that summer. We reunite at conferences like ENAR and JSM. And it's a short period of time, but it's an intense period of time. And being around people who think like you is a really special thing. So, definitely take advantage of that opportunity to bond with people. You may be in contact with them 20 years from now. And then, of course, you're going to spend the summer living in New York. So many opportunities here, pictures of Central Park, Empire State Building, Broadway, museums. There's just pretty much anything for anyone. Anything you could possibly imagine, you could pretty much find in New York. So talking a little bit more detail about our program structure, here I have a snapshot of the actual week 3 from this past summer, just to give you a sense for how things usually go. Mondays, we usually save for professional development research seminars. So in the mornings, we usually have a research seminar. And then in the afternoon, we have some sort of professional development. So this week, week 3 of the 2024 SIBS iteration, we had an alumni industry panel. So we brought back alumni from our programs who are working in industry to give you a peek into what a master's level or PhD level statistician might be doing in industry. This, I think, is especially important because you tend to hear from people in academia all of the time. So we really like to give that other perspective to sort of give you a wide range of opportunities and ideas that are available in this field. Tuesday through Fridays, we split the day. So in this previous iteration, we did research in the morning, and then in the afternoons, we had our structured classroom time. So we split the classroom time into 2 components. We have an Intro to Biostatistics course, and then we have an Intro to Data Science course. And these roughly cover the content that you would take in our graduate level courses. Obviously not the whole course semester long, but about half of the semester long course. So it really gives you a preview into what a graduate course would look like, what are the things you're going to be learning, and the ideas that you'd be working on. And in this particular week, we ended the week with a Mets game on Friday afternoon. So I'm not going to go through the details here, but this sort of gives you a sense of the types of things that we do in the course component of SIBDS in the afternoons. Again, the data science is really focused on doing reproducible research using the tidyverse primarily. So that's primarily our focus. So often students will come in with exposure to R, but they haven't learned it in a very systematic way. And we really try to set up, best practices for coding in R to do reproducible research. Our projects change year over year. And sort of to differentiate it from some of the other SIBS programs, our mentored projects actually happen in small teams versus big teams. So usually it's 2 to 3 students on a particular project. And they're working with either one of our faculty in the Department of Biostatistics or a faculty member who's doing quantitative research in a very closely related field. So here you'll see many of our faculty represented. So Dr. Valeri and Dr. Miles, they're both working on causal inference. Our colleague in EPI, Jeanette Stangone, has been a good friend of SIBDS. She does a lot of environmental research. Yifei Sun and Ying Wei, other more senior faculty. All of these projects change year over year, but we allow students the opportunity to rank projects before they come in, and we try to match students to projects that are of most interest to them. So I can say from the last 3 years, students always end up on either their first or second choice for projects. And again, you're working in a small team, 1 other person or maybe 2 other people, and you're getting a lot of one-on-one contact with our faculty. And in addition to working on the projects, you're also getting advice on how to strengthen your training so that you can apply to graduate studies later. So there's a lot of informal mentorship happening too during this process. Our big culminating event at the end of the 7 weeks is a research symposium. So this happens the last day of the program. We invite faculty from both our department and then departments across the School of Health, School of Public Health, and also the medical school to participate in this symposium. We invite students from other pipeline programs to come to this event as well. So it's a really nice mix of students and faculty who attend, and everyone has an opportunity to present the research that they worked on for the summer. And it's truly incredible to see just how far students come in 6 weeks working on these projects. It really, really is amazing. We've had students come in who've never really had any statistical exposure, and at the end of this program, you would never, ever know that. So really incredible work, and students then are able to take these research projects. Everyone goes home with a copy of their poster. They can present it at their home institution. And in fact, many of our students continue working on the research project after the summer is over. I know at least 2 students from not this past summer cohort, but the summer before, so summer 2023, they kept working with their mentor and they actually submitted it for publication. So they're just in that publication process now. So it actually created an ongoing relationship for them that's still happening, you know, more than a year later. So it's really exciting to see that happen. So getting to the details about who can apply to the Columbia program, we're typically looking for someone who has completed at least 2 years as an undergraduate. I have an asterisk there because we will consider exceptional freshmen, so students who have, you know, maybe advanced training, maybe you took a lot of AP classes and you've had, you know, a lot of exposure. But that being said, priority is typically given to students with at least 2 years of college credit. We're also looking for at least 2 semesters of calculus or 1 semester of calculus and some other quantitative type experience. It could be another advanced math class, statistics, computing course. Computing course can be data science, it could be computer science. We're pretty flexible about that. For the Columbia program, because of the way that it's funded by the NHLBI, we are restricted to only recruiting US students or permanent residents. We're not able to accept international students. But I do want to say that international students are an integral part of our Columbia Biostats community. So please do not feel like you're not welcome or wanted. You are most definitely a important part of our program. And you know, I welcome talking with you if you're interested in our MS or PhD program. So another hat that I wear is I'm the MS program director at Columbia, and I'm always happy to talk to interested students about applying. And again, our cohort size is relatively small, about 14 per year. How to apply? We have an online application. It's open already. It closes March 15th, but we are doing rolling admissions. So again, similar to what Brahmar said, please get your application in sooner than later. The sooner you get it in, the better your chances of being accepted. I don't think we've had 600 applications, but we do have a large number of applications every year, and it's very competitive. So please make sure you get those in as soon as you can. We're looking for an electronic transcript. It can be unofficial, that's fine. We are looking for 2 letters of recommendation, one of which should be from a college instructor and one from a STEM-related field. So we're really trying to understand who you are as a person, about your research skills, your curiosity, your intellectual curiosity. These are all things that we're sort of looking for in that personal statement, and also these letters of reference. So in addition to letters of reference, we're looking for a personal statement about 1 page where you talk about why you're applying to our program and what are you thinking about doing after this program. We may also set up an interview depending on how the process is going. So we don't always do interviews, but it is an option sometimes that we will use to complete sort of the picture for an applicant. So again, deadline is March 15th for applications. It's going to run from May 27th to July 11th this year. That first week before Memorial Day, or starting with Memorial Day, is asynchronous. And then we have a move-in date of June 1st for the on-campus portion. And then you're on campus with us for the 6 weeks. If you have any questions after this session is over, we'll try to answer them as much as we can now. But if you have questions that are still lingering, please email Lucia or myself, or both of us is probably even better. And we can help you answer any questions that come up. I haven't been checking the chat as I go. I can take a quick peek now to see if there are questions that I haven't answered.
There's nothing specific yet.
Okay,
Maybe
perfect.
hold off.
Thank you,
Kristen.
Okay, perfect.
Now we hand it over to our colleagues from BU.
Thank you.
Welcome, Jackie.
Hi, so I'm here representing the Summer Institute of Biostatistics and Data Science, which we call SIBS at Boston University School of Public Health. We have several faculty who help make this program run, but I would just like to highlight the 3 at the bottom. Lisa Sullivan was actually one of the inaugural co-PIs of SIBS. So our BU program of SIBS has been running for, this is going to be the 21st year. And our BU program has been running since the inception of SIBS, and Lisa Sullivan was one of the faculty who started the program with NHLBI. And so I just want to acknowledge all of the work that she has done. I don't think there would be a SIBS program without her. So she's done a lot to keep the program running, and you know, and I'm sure Christine knows Lisa very well. And so we appreciate all that she has done to keep this wonderful program running. Um, our vision for the BU SIBS has been trying to determine how best to introduce undergrads to the field of biostatistics and data science. So far, I feel that we've been very successful. Of students who graduate, over 95% have gone on to graduate school in a field related to biostatistics or data science. And many of our graduates now are leaders in field of pharmaceutical industry, government, or academia. Again, we've been running for over 20 years, so we've been able to see our graduates go on and become professors, get their PhDs, and so we've been running for a while. But this photo here was taken last year when we had our celebration of our 20th SIBS program at Boston University. So our program format is we have a 10-week program, which is split into 5 weeks, which are on campus, and 5 weeks, which are remote. We have 20 undergraduate students. Similarly to the Columbia program, our students must be U.S. citizens or permanent residents. That's just the way that the our grant through NIAID works. And so we recruit students from across the U.S. Typically, we've had around 300 applicants, although again, for some reason this year, we're seeing a large increase in the number of applications. I encourage you to apply early. We are on a rolling admissions basis, and we've already started to accept applicants into our program, so apply as soon as you can. You'll have the opportunity to earn 4 undergraduate college credits. On-campus housing, travel, and meals are covered during the 5 weeks that you are on campus. And during the 5 weeks that you are remote, there is a stipend, and I'll talk a little bit about the 5 weeks on campus and the 5 weeks remote more detail. So during the 5 weeks that you are on campus, for the morning section, there's a mix of didactic lectures, active-based learning, and guest speakers. And they cover a mix of topics really biostatistics, data science, machine learning, epidemiology, infectious disease, clinical trials, infectious disease, so here twice, genetics and genomics. So we really try to cover the gamut in terms of how biostatistics can be learned to medicine and the field of public health. We have guest speakers from the School of Medicine, the School of Public Health, and a wide variety of former SIBS alumni coming back to speak to the students. And just to give you an idea of their field, of their trajectory into the field of biostatistics. We also have guest speakers coming in from the School of Public Health and our Department of Biostatistics to talk to students about the application process. So how to write a personal statement, who to get letters of recommendation from, how to choose a particular graduate school, whether you're thinking about master's or PhD, whether you're thinking about biostatistics or data science or just statistics, and how to make that decision. And so we try to help you with that process as well. For the afternoon session, so these are more applied based. So we have lab exercises, small research projects, and their homework assignments. The day ends at 4 o'clock, so don't worry about homework assignments. It's not like you're going to be doing homework until 6 o'clock. Sorry, my son is here. It is school vacation week, so I apologize for that. And so these homework assignments and labs exercises are done in our studio. They're done in SAS, Plink. We teach students how to use the Linux cluster. For those interested in infectious disease, we also teach students how to use ArcGIS and ArcMap for modeling infectious diseases. During the remote 5-week portion of the program, you're focused on a group research project. And so We hire you on at Boston University as a research assistant, and you're provided a stipend. We allow students to choose what research project they want to be a part of. In the past, we've allowed students to choose between the NHANES study. So this is the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. There's a clinical trials option. Last year, we used the digoxin clinical trial. There's an infectious disease option. Last year, we were looking at tuberculosis study that was done in Ukraine. And there's also a genetic study last year was Alzheimer's disease neuroimaging initiative. These change throughout the years, but there's always going to be a genetic study, an infectious disease study, a clinical trial study, and one that looks at nutrition, mental health in combination as well. So we allow students to choose, and so the group sizes will vary. If we feel that a group is getting large, typically more than 4 students, we might divide that group into 2. And so usually you won't be working with a group size of more than 4 students, and we'll assign you to a research mentor for that 5-week portion of the SIPS program. And so this is meant to give you an idea of what it would be like if you were to go to grad school, usually for biostatistics or data science. If you're going into grad school, you're going to be working with in a lab group with the research mentor. And so this is kind of helping you to get what that experience is like, what lab meetings are like, what it's like to report your findings over weekly check-ins, or maybe even more than weekly check-ins. Again, it depends on the availability of the group members. And you'll present these findings at the end of the 5-week period. Okay. And then in Boston, we do try to take advantage of the research facilities that are around. So this first picture that you're seeing here doesn't look like much, but this is actually the Framingham Heart Study, one of the most successful longitudinal cohort studies. And so we do take our students there every year. Next to that, we have the NEDA, which is the National Infectious Disease Laboratory. It's one of the few biosafety level 4 infectious disease laboratories in the country. And so it's right on Boston University's medical campus. And so we're starting to bring students there. And then right next to that is Pfizer. So we are starting to bring students to some of the pharmaceutical companies. There's tons of pharmaceutical companies in the Boston area, as you can imagine. They're located more in Cambridge, but all of them have SIBS alumni there. So we're trying to take advantage of the fact that our alumni are there and bring students to these facilities as well. And it's not just work, there's fun. So we have students go to a Red Sox game. We take them to a Boston Harbor cruise. We also orient students to the city of Boston through a duck tour. And there's lots of other activities to help you, you know, get to know your cohort better, get to know the faculty better, and some of the mentors better. And so what I want to do now is turn things over to one of our alumni, Allison Siegel. So she participated in last year's SIBS cohort, or 2024 cohort. Allison, you want to say a few words?
Hi, my name is Allison Siegel. I'm currently a senior at Hofstra University, which is a small liberal arts college on Long Island. Going into the SIBS program, I had absolutely no biostatistical background. And like what was mentioned before, I wasn't really sure which way, excuse me, I wasn't really sure which direction I wanted to take my math major into. Actuarial science was something I thought of, teaching was something I thought of, and it wasn't until a professor at my school brought this program to my attention, and it was honestly it changed my trajectory completely. Like I mentioned, I'm a senior, and I'm a senior right now. I've been applying to grad schools. I've had research experience at my institution now in imaging, which is something that wouldn't have been an opportunity for me had I not been in the SIBS program and had that experience. I was also able to present my research from the SIBS program at our medical school, which was a great opportunity for me to, expand upon stuff that I had done through the program, and to share those results with the community at my school. And honestly, the SIBS program was the best experience. I wish that I could go back again. I've kept in touch with all of my friends from the program. We've actually met up quite a few times since we left Boston. And it was honestly just an incredible experience. So yeah.
And then I think the last thing that I want to discuss, and I'm sure this goes for all the programs, but even though we say that this is a 10-week program, we actually spend a lot of time talking to students beyond the 10-week program. We spend a lot of time mentoring students through the grad school process after the program is done. So don't think that once that you're done with the SIBS program that you're done. You're still going to be hearing from me, reaching out if you have questions about grad school applications, reaching out to see what you're doing next. And so we always write letters of recommendation, or if you have questions about which grad schools we apply to, or if you need a letter of recommendation, or if you're still trying to decide between biostats or data science, or we have students who go into EPI as well. So we spend a lot of time mentoring after the program. So this is a relationship that lasts well beyond 10 weeks, many years. And so be prepared. This is what I want to say.
We do have a question about the Boston University program. The question is, since the BU program's research portion is remote, how do you do the concluding presentations?
So we do that remote, and we invite faculty from the Biostat department and our SIBS alumni as well to participate in the remote portion of the research program. Yeah. Or the research presentations, yes.
So there is another question by Lindsay. If you apply to one of the locations like Yale, would that application transfer to the others as well? No, it would not, because every site has actually different application requirements and review procedures. So we do not have an integral way of transferring students' applications. Thank you for that question, Lindsay. Other questions? So I just wanted to mention that, you see that all of us working together, because this is an extremely collaborative space. Biostatistics is a wonderfully welcoming profession and discipline. So I hope that you get to go to one of these amazing SIBS programs, because this has been life-changing and transformative. And I have been a professor for 25 years, and this is the best thing that I have experienced in my life, which has actually transformative potential on human life and human education. And so I really hope that I wish you all the best. And as you see, our students are very engaged and connected and doing wonderful things, and they are going to change the world, one algorithm, one theorem, or one massive finding at a time. And I'm so incredibly proud of all the SIBS. It takes a village to run this mission. So to all the SIBS directors and to all the SIBS students, because this has become sort of like the biggest community of biostatistics and also creating that next generation of scholars. So I really welcome you to be a part of it and invite you to explore all of the opportunities across the SIBS. And I must mention that Michigan is also running a program. It's a fantastic program. So if you are not sold on the East Coast, please do apply to that program as well. So if the image BDSI, so we are not closing our application, because there is an agreement between the SIBS that we have to keep our application portal open March 15th. And so because Michigan is not a part of the SIBS network anymore, that's why they can do that, but we cannot do that. So our application portal is going to remain open. But as everyone mentioned, that you need to apply sooner the better. So because this is so competitive this year, And I have done this for 10 years. I have never seen 600 applications. So last year at Michigan, it was about 475. And as you can imagine, that takes a lot of effort. We are involving our students to review these applications, but it is very daunting. So the sooner you can get in your application, the better. Anything else? If not, I just want to share one slide to conclude the morning. This is, if you come to one of the East Coast SIBs, the chances are that you are going to get to New York and visit New York either on an organized tour or on your own, taking a train from Boston or from New Haven. And if you go to Central Park, Strawberry Fields is one of the places that I go. And this is the circle where we see Imagine. And everyone has a little submarine, yellow submarine, with which we traverse the world. For many of us, it has been biostatistics and seeing the world through lens of data. And standing today, data, information, public health, we need more people with real strong skills and motivation that will inspire the next generation, that will advance our field. So wherever you go, I really encourage you to think beyond your classroom knowledge. Imagine a different future. Imagine a different future for yourself and for our society. And I want to wish you all the best in this journey. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thanks to all our colleagues for running these programs and really changing lives. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thanks to the students for joining, and thanks to Sohani for putting this all together, and Matt and Iran for being behind the scenes. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you for organizing. We appreciate it.
Yes.